Something is happening in the UK just now. It's an inquiry into what's described by the UK Criminal Cases Review Commission as the most widespread miscarriage of justice in British legal history. It involves that once cherished and trusted institution in the UK known as the Post Office. And I want to talk through how psychology actually does explain some of what happened in the scandal, and I want to talk through how some of what happened can explain how we teach students about plagiarism in all the wrong ways. The miscarriage of justice involves the failings of a corporation, Fujitsu, the failings of a public institution, the UK Post Office Limited, and the sub-postmasters who got caught in between. Fujitsu failed as they designed an IT system called Horizon to centralise the recording of financial transactions in post offices. The system had lots of bugs, errors and defects which led to the reporting of financial shortfalls in many post offices when there were none. Fujitsu knew there were problems with the IT system and they told the Post Office Limited about the problems, but they didn't tell the sub-postmasters anything about the problems. Post Office Limited failed because they also didn't tell sub-postmasters about the problems, and instead they decided that those shortfalls must be and could only be the result of dishonest sub-postmasters who they thought were thieving from the tills, or incompetent sub-postmasters who couldn't properly use the tills. So they decided that they would demand sub-postmasters pay back those reported losses from their own pocket, and they litigated if sub-postmasters refused, and they also prosecuted sub-postmasters for theft, fraud, and false accounting. And they sacked a whole lot of them. And they did all of this whilst knowing there were problems with the Horizon IT system. The result was that over 900 sub-postmasters were wrongly prosecuted by Post Office Limited and convicted by UK courts. There are probably many more than the 900. We're still discovering how big this scandal is. And they were wrongly convicted of theft, fraud and false accounting. Many went to prison. Not only did they not commit those crimes, there were no crimes committed. There was no missing money, except for that which went missing from the personal funds of the sub-postmasters who had to pay back those non-existent losses. And those were considerable sums of money that they were paying, often thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of pounds. And because of that, many sub-postmasters went into serious debt. Others went bankrupt. Families were broken up. Reputations were damaged. And some sub-postmasters, 4 that we know of, committed suicide. Now, this injustice went on from 1999 until around 2015. It's only ended in the sense that Post Office Limited stopped taking out private prosecutions against sub-postmasters in 2015. But the injustice continues because most of those convictions have yet to be overturned, and few, if any, sub-postmasters have been properly compensated or had financial redress. It's only just recent that Post Office Limited and Fujitsu have owned up to what they did, and they're now starting to apologise for it. And that's mostly as a result of a public inquiry into all of this. The inquiry became a statutory inquiry in 2021, which meant it could compel people to give evidence and required them to give their evidence under oath.
I swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
It's a big inquiry. It's been going on for a long time because of how many miscarriages of justice there have been and how long it's all been going on for. As far as I can tell, at the moment, it's February the 13th. I'm doing this, recording this. Here in Australia, folk haven't really talked about this scandal. And that was true in the UK as well. In the UK, it was occasionally reported on in the news. There was some ongoing reporting in publications like Private Eye, but there was no massive public outcry. In fact, the head of the Post Office, Paula Venables, who presided all of this, she received a honour, a CBE, in 2019 for her services to the post office and to charity when she stepped down from that role that year. And there was no public outcry about it. No one paid much attention at all. But there is a public outcry about it now in the UK, and it has been massive. It started between January the 1st and the 4th, 2024, when the post office scandal was told through a 4-part television drama series that was aired on ITV over 4 consecutive nights. It was called Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. Now, it's scheduled to be broadcast here in Australia on February the 14th. So it's going to be interesting to see if there's any public reaction to it. This is why I'm rattling this video out just now. Well, part 1 of this video just now, to try and catch you just before it airs. Now, I can't see that there will be a massive outcry about it all here in Australia because it's a scandal happening in the UK. But I might be wrong. It's going to be interesting, particularly given Australia's colonial links with the UK, whether this gets picked up here and causes a public outcry. So I'm getting this first part of my video on the scandal out to you. Just hopefully it'll land before the series airs, and then I'll carry on this series of videos and tell you a bit more about the scandal and more of the detail, and then I'm going to give you some of those connections to psychology, about what we teach in psychology. About there's a bit of psychology that's really relevant to what's happened in this scandal. But I also want to connect into this issue about, and I know I go on about it a lot, plagiarism, about how it shows that we're talking about plagiarism in the wrong way, because plagiarism features quite large in the scandal. So by the time I get this video out, hopefully it's just before the program airs, but you can watch it in that, the on-demand services. It's on channel 7, I think it's channel 7, and it's coming in 2 parts. So they're playing episode 1 and 2 on February the 14th, and parts 3 and 4 on February the 21st. So as I say, I'm recording this on the 13th. I'm already starting to detect there's a little bit of a buzz about this, but I don't know what's going to happen. Now, if you don't live in either the UK or Australia, I don't know if you're going to be able to get hold of this. I don't know if it's going to be broadcast on your channels, but I do know that there are some unscrupulous websites where you can download the drama series for free. But anyway, can't condone such things. So that's it, really. If you get to watch it and see what sense you make of it, keep an eye out for the public discourse around it to see if there's anything, if it flags anything in the public arena. And yeah, I'll then get on and make parts, probably 2, 3, it might be 4 parts, this video, because there's a lot of detail to get through, but I want to get to that thing about, psychology's got a bit to say here, and I think we need to have a bit to say on plagiarism, because I think we've taught it all wrong. Okay, so till then, ta-da.